Queens and Kings, it's Aisha and welcome back to my channel. Remember, the key to achieving anything you want starts with your thinking. Be positive and be blessed. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you guys a story about how I manifested something without knowing that I actually manifested it. And I didn't realize this until recently when I was thinking back about, what could I have possibly manifested without knowing I was doing it. And so this might be a very short video, but I just wanted to share this with you guys. So when I was in university, I knew that I wanted to graduate with honors, and about halfway through university I switched programs. And when I switched programs, I was no longer in honors for the new program. So I told myself, I want to be in honors, and I started to think about the ways that I could get into honors by the time I was supposed to graduate, because you could switch into the honor program. But the thing is, there were certain courses that you were only allowed to do if you were in honors. So at least by the time I was in my fourth year, I would have to be in that program to complete the courses to be given that title. So I started checking, what can I do to get into honors? I need to get this in all my courses for that specific major until the day I graduate in order to be in honors. For some reason, I was like, yep, I have to, because in my head, I was going to graduate with honors. I don't know how, I don't care how, but that is what is going to happen. Obviously, I was not able to get like 90s in all my courses or 80s in all my courses. So as the time was going by, I realized that my average was still not gonna reach where it needed to be in time. But for some reason, I don't know why, for some reason I still thought I'm going to graduate with honors. I don't know if they would make me an exception, but that's just what I thought it's going to happen. So about a year before I was supposed to graduate, so right before my last year, the school announced that they were going to change the average for honors for my faculty. And they were changing the courses, they were changing everything, they were basically revamping everything. So the average that they decided to change it to was the average that I basically had. Like, actually no, I was like a few point something away from the average. So when I found it was going to change, I'm like, yes, I can still do this. And that was my ticket to graduating with honors. And I'm like, what? Now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, what are the odds that this changed right before I was supposed to graduate? Like, that average, that previous average was there for probably years and years and years ago. And now that I'm there, and I'm not saying I'm the only student that ever wanted to graduate honors or anything, but I'm saying the time that it changed was just really amazing. I went to see my advisor to find out, what can I do to get into because you had to switch into it. It's not like you were automatically in honors or whatever. You had to actually switch into it. So I went to see my advisor to find out what I could do to switch into it and what I need to do from now till I graduate for everything to be good. Starting the first, so I had 2 semesters left in school, and was it 2? Yes, I had 2 semesters left in school. So I spoke to the advisor, and she basically showed me this I don't remember what they call it, but basically I could, because as I told you guys, they had new courses that would go along with the new average, but some of the new courses would not be introduced into the school till like a year or 2 years later. Some of them would not exist until way long after I was gone. So they would allow you to still do the old courses, and then you would still have the honors on your degree. So I got to do that. So she showed me like, oh, you have this, you have all these courses already. So the only courses that I really needed to do was like 2 or 3 elective courses, and then I needed to do 2 major courses that previously only honors students were allowed to do. So at this point I wasn't in honors, so I wasn't allowed to do it. I told her that I want to do it because I want to be in honors. I couldn't enroll in that course on my own because I wasn't in honors. So to enroll, you had to get like a specific code from your advisor. So I spoke to her. Actually, I didn't even know that she would allow me to do it, because it wasn't an advisor that like knew me. That wasn't actually something that I used to do, like go to an advisor all the time. So she gave me the code, and well, first of all, she asked me if I'm sure that I want to do it, because a lot of students take those courses and they fail and it makes their averages lower, it makes no sense to do it if I'm going to make my average lower. So I'm like, no, I'm going to do it. Like, I can do it. And she's like, okay, I see that from like your previous courses. I think you can manage. So she gave me the code and I enrolled, and she's like, at the end of the semester, if you did well in the first one, then I will just automatically enroll you into the honors, like without you even having to come back to the office. So even previously, like, I spoke to people, I spoke to my friends, and everybody said, oh, these courses are so hard. And I'm talking about people who are really smart, and they're like, it's so hard. And I I was terrified because I don't know, I was just terrified. So I did the course, the first one. So there's two, but I did one the first semester, and then I was gonna do the next one the second semester if I did well. So I did the first one and it was going great. Like, that was probably one of my most favorite profs. I actually paid attention in class. Like, I was actually interested. I was learning what he was teaching because I was interested, and I was doing really well. It's like I was doing really well, surprisingly. And I'm like, wait, why is it that the courses that everybody says so hard and so difficult is the one that I actually like and the one that I'm actually doing well in? Because other courses that I would hear that, oh, this is a bird course, like it's easy. I would take the bird courses, some of them, and my grade wouldn't be that great. So I did that one and my average was good, and then my average went above what was needed for honors. But now it was time for me to be enrolled in the honors. I checked and I realized it wasn't happening automatically. So I went back on the school website, searched for advisors, because I think you had like two advisors you could go to. And I realized that the first advisor that had enrolled me, her name disappeared. Like, I don't know, she disappeared. She either stopped working at the school or something, but her name and information was nowhere to be found. So because she wasn't there, I suppose that, okay, I'm not going to be enrolled automatically, so I had to go see another advisor. So I booked an appointment and I saw another advisor. um I explained to them, but everything was great at that point because my average was already above the needed average for it to be in honors. And the thing is, I don't know if she was just there at that time I don't know if she's there at that time to enroll me in that first course, because maybe if it was somebody else, like, they wouldn't have given me that chance. So I was enrolled into honors now, and I did the second course. It wasn't easy, but I like that. The second one was probably also one of my favorite courses and favorite profs, because that course was, I don't know, I learned a lot, and I learned a lot of things that could be applied to everyday life and, you know, what's going on today. Because sometimes a lot of things in school you don't really know how to apply it, and this course was really amazing, and the prof was great, and it was challenging, but I did well. So at the end of the day, I was in honors. I was done school, and my average was like, it actually passed the needed amount for honors, like way more than I expected. And, you know, I graduated last year, and that was that. And I think that's something that I manifested, even though I didn't know how it was going to come to me. So if you have something that you want and you don't know how it's going to come to you, don't worry about that. Just do the work, because even though it wasn't working and I didn't have all perfect grades, I still knew what I wanted. Like, I didn't even think about not having honors. And honestly, I can't even tell you guys why I need to see honors so much. It was just something that I personally wanted for myself. So even if you don't see a way, the whatever you want, once you put the energy out there, you will attract it to you. So everything will rearrange, and that thing will happen to you. But you have to, like, I remember when I did my exams in primary school to go to high school. The high school that I went to, that was the only thing in my mind. Like, there was in my head, there was no way I was going to another high school but that high school. On the day when they read the results, if they told me anything other than that school, I would have a life crisis. What would you call that? Like 12 years old. I would have like a 10th life crisis. something like that, because I was like, no, that's the school I'm going. And that's the school that I did end up going. And obviously everything you want, it won't go that way. Like, I've done things that, and I thought, okay, this is going to go the way I want it to. But sometimes some things are not for you and you might not realize it at the time, or sometimes they're a wake-up call for you to start doing better. I think everything happens for a reason, and I hope you guys have a blessed day, and I hope you enjoy this video, and thank you so much for watching.